Board. All right, so hello everybody. I am Matt Husky, your instructor for Computer Science 1 C++. So here is our courses Canvas homepage. And so the first thing that I want to look at with you all, if you want to follow along with me, but you can go to the syllabus tab right here. And this will pull up the document of the class syllabus. And that's the first thing that we're going to start talking about here. So this is Computer Science 1, C++. I'm Matt Husky. My email, if you ever need to get in touch with me about anything, email is a great way to contact me. I usually try to get back to you within 24 hours, give or take. At a minimum, it may just be an acknowledgement that I know what your problem is and I may still be working to resolve it. But email is a great way to get in touch with me. In addition to sort of our normally scheduled class periods, I will be having office hours, and those will be online on Zoom. I haven't posted it yet, but I will post a different Zoom link that'll be called Office Hours, and those will be held Monday and Wednesday from 12 to 1, by which I mean noon, not midnight to 1, but noon to 1 on Mondays and Wednesdays. And so in the next couple of days, I'll get the Office Hours Zoom link posted for everybody. Let's see. So our location, if we start meeting on campus again, I might need to check that because I think they may have moved us to Reed 1334. I'll double check that and get that up to date. We were in one room and they moved us to another room, so I'll make sure that the syllabus is correct. If you check your schedule online, then the schedule will have the correct information. I can't remember if I updated the syllabus since I wrote this. And then through Red Shelf or on Canvas, you should be able to have access to the programming textbook that goes with our course as well. So this is an introduction to programming. We're going to focus on the C++ language. I'm basically going to be operating from the assumption that you have no background in computer programming whatsoever. I'll try to make it as accessible as I can to people who, computers are maybe very foreign to them, or programming is very foreign to them. So it's mainly going to be through a lecture. We're going to have a lot of project assignments. We will also have some like quizzes and things here and there that'll have, multiple choice, true, false kinds of questions. You might have like some short answer questions. So there will be some assessments where it'll get into your understanding of how to actually design programs. And then there'll be others that sort of test just sort of general knowledge, concept knowledge of things relating to the subject of computer programming. Let's see. So with all the things with makeup tests and things and quizzes, you'll have a pretty wide window of time to complete all of the activities. And like with the quizzes, what we're going to do is instead of actually spending class time like sitting in a room and taking the quiz, those will be made available to you online. Those will be through Canvas. I'll post them, say, Sunday night. You'll have until maybe Friday night to get that finished. So you'll have kind of a window of time to get it done. And with the quizzes, you'll have one attempt. You're not going to have a chance to like go back and like do it again or change your answers. So you'll be taking some quizzes. We'll also have a midterm exam and a final exam, which will be a very similar format, just longer, and they will cover more topics. And like I said, these will be, kind of a mix of, multiple choice, true, false, maybe some matching short answer kinds of questions. You'll see here kind of an outline of the different topics that we're going to cover over the course of the semester. And so basically every other week you can expect to have a quiz. The only exceptions will be when you have an exam instead of a quiz. And then there won't be a homework assignment officially for the first week, but starting with the second week, you're going to have a homework assignment where you have to make a program related to the particular topic or skill that we've been discussing that week. So anyway, that is kind of the format of the course. The other thing is that there'll also be a final project where you will design a much larger and more fleshed out computer program towards the end of the class. So the next thing that I want to look at is kind of show you around the stuff that is in Canvas right now. So you've got your red shelf, I guess, is the link to your textbook there. Announcements, if I have things to communicate to you all, usually announcements is how I will do it. So be sure to check these regularly. The main thing you're going to want to look at would be the modules. And so you can see here the different activities. There's like videos, handouts, presentations, different sorts of things. Here's one thing I will say about our course for this semester. We are starting Thursday. The campus is going to be officially open, and I will be in the classroom on campus. And the other thing I will do is I will sign into Zoom during the normally scheduled class period, just like we are now. We are going to use the same Zoom link each and every class period just to keep things simple. So the Zoom link that you use to connect with me this evening, you can, if you're going to connect remotely rather than actually come to campus for whatever reason, just use the same Zoom link, and you can participate in the class session that way. But here's the other thing I'm going to say about the class sessions. I'm going to be putting just a lot of stuff out there. And what I would like the Zoom sessions to be is basically giving you an opportunity to interact with me directly, ask me questions, and let me know if you're having any kind of problems or you're just stuck on something and you would like my help and guidance to kind of get over whatever hump you're dealing with. I am, especially in light of all the circumstances related to COVID and everything like this, I am going to be making a point of designing this class in such a way that you could pretty much complete everything completely online. You would not necessarily have to actually, show up to the classroom and park your keister there at a specific time and place. If you are demonstrating to me that you're engaging, that you're keeping up with the assignments, you're getting the work turned in a timely fashion, and I can be convinced you're participating. I'm not going to give you an awful lot of grief as far as that. You know, I've had a number of students this semester, both here and at other institutions, reach out to me about their concerns about coming to campus. So just be aware. And as I start showing you things here on Canvas, as you'll notice, I'm really going out of my way to get things kind of teed up for everyone so that you, as I said, can complete this exclusively online as circumstances dictate. So the first thing that I've got here, you've got this getting started section. This is just like a heading. But if you click on like this first thing here, it's saying using a web-based compiler. This is one aspect of how you can complete this course online. You can, from any computer, use a program compiler just on the web. And so I've got like some pictures and some text here kind of walking you through that. I've got a couple there's several websites that you have that you can pick from. As long as you have an internet connection and a web browser, any of these would be a good option for running programs online. So like I said, you don't necessarily have to be on campus in the computer lab that they've put us in. You could complete this stuff from your home computer. So one option is to use a web-based compiler. As I say, you've got this video of me that's like almost 9 minutes long. I'm not going to sit here and like play it for you. You can watch that on your own time at your convenience. But one option is you can use a web-based compiler, just using anything like, you know, Firefox, Chrome, Internet Explorer, some sort of web browser. The other way to approach getting started, I give you some directions on how to download and install a free compiler. I mainly emphasize doing it on a Windows machine. The machine I am going to be working from myself does use Windows. If you are a Mac person, and I do mean an actual Mac, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not aware of the ability to run Xcode on like an iPad. My sense is you do need like an actual desktop machine to do that. So for anyone using a Mac, there's a program in the App Store called Xcode, which can be used as a C++ compiler. For my end of things, since Windows is what I'm operating, that's going to be kind of the main one I'm going to be using as my go-to. I'll either use one of the web-based compilers online or Visual Studio as I, in my videos and things, demonstrate the examples here. So I kind of walk you through, I kind of tell you, like, here's the URL to find it. You can install the program, and then after you get Visual Studio installed, you do have to go through a sequence of steps to create a project. I've kind of done my best to break this down step by step, kind of directing you to each little thing here. And also, when we're in the computer lab, I certainly hope they put us in a computer lab where the computers have Visual Studio on them. If they moved us out of that computer lab, I'm not going to be happy. But that's neither here nor there. So if you are using Visual Studio in the computer lab on campus, some of the computers do have Visual Studio on them already. If you need to work from a computer lab. But these are the same ones. These are the same instructions on how to use the version of Visual Studio in the computer lab. I guess we'll find out if we're in the computer lab that actually has Visual Studio. If not, I suppose we can always use the web-based compilers and it'll be just fine. But pretty much all of the course can be completed with the web-based compiler, but if you have your own machine, if you have your own computer, I would strongly encourage you to get Visual Studio. That'll be a very useful resource. So like, you know, there's a video of me going over how to create a project, and then like you can go to the next thing. And so there's a video of me and I kind of go over the applications of C++. There's a picture of the Terminator, which I promise is not like a completely random thing. I guess it's kind of random, but anyway. So anyway, all this stuff, you can kind of read it, look it over, watch the videos, do it on your own time. Here we got like some actual programming down here where it says like the hello programs. So like the other ones, there's going to be a video of me kind of walking there. There's the compiler up and running there. And you can watch me kind of type in the code and run the code and do all these different things here. And I've compared to like the normal text, I always try to put the actual like computer code in this kind of gray box here, and you'll notice it's kind of formatted a little differently. You should be able to just copy and paste this. So if you hold Control-C, you can copy something, and then if you do Control-V, you can then paste it in whatever C++ compiler you're using. And you want to watch out for like formatting, because sometimes it doesn't always sync up. And so like here you'll notice these are not like official lines of codes. They're not in that like gray box that I was talking about. So there's something about comments. And again, you can watch the videos and kind of read over the stuff there. But anyway, I've tried to have it all just kind of laid out for you, very cut and dried. So this is all stuff that you could do it. You could watch and read over this stuff during class time. You could watch and read over this stuff like outside of class time. It's kind of your prerogative of when you're going to make things happen. I am able through Canvas to kind of check and see like when you've logged in, when you've logged off, how long you were working. You know, if you spend 4 hours on a Monday night knocking through a bunch of this stuff, I'm not necessarily going to give you a lot of grief if you don't show up to like a Tuesday Zoom meeting or like to a class session. Like I said, I'm trying to make this where you can pretty much complete everything online. And then going forward, you're welcome to join me in the classroom. You can join me via Zoom during our normal class periods like you did this evening. And those will be times where I will be available to you to help you and answer questions and just kind of help you deal with any bumps you've run into as you're trying to complete the activities and assignments. Towards the end of week 2 here, you will see there's the first project or homework assignment. That's due on September 4th, so a week from Friday. There's also a quiz. You probably aren't able to see the quiz yet because I think it's not supposed to open until next week. But like if you open up the project there, it gives you some guidelines and parameters of how to of the programming assignment for that particular week. When you submit the programming assignments in the modules, I have a sample header that I would like you to use for you to put your name on your code. inside the text of the code as a block comment. And when you submit your code, what I would like you to do is actually save it as a text file, a TXT file. If you are using Visual Studio, if you download Visual Studio, or if you're using Xcode on a Mac, it does give you the option to save CPP files. CPP is the extension for C++. But to try and make things easier, because Canvas doesn't really like CPP files, what I would ask of you is that you use, like in Windows, it's the Notepad program, but just save your code as a TXT file, a text file, and submit it to me that way. So that is largely all I have for now. So going forward, you can, while you're sitting there, you're welcome to start opening up the modules, start watching the videos I've posted, and start working your way through this stuff. Oh, actually, there is one other thing I wanted to tell you, which is on the subject of the quizzes. That's worth talking about. So I mentioned you'd have a window of time to complete the quizzes. What I will say is you are going to be allowed to use notes or the textbook while you are taking a quiz. When you do the quiz, there will be you will have to finish it in one sitting, and you are going to have a time limit for it. But it is fair game to use notes or the textbook while you're taking the quiz. And the other thing I'll say too is I would definitely encourage you to write stuff down, like as you're watching a video or going through one of the PowerPoint slides, for instance. Maybe take the time to actually jot some notes down to yourself, because since the quizzes do have a time limit, I think it would be better from your perspective to actually have the stuff that you can flip through the paper easily and find what you're looking for, instead of having to hunt through a whole bunch of videos and waiting for them to load and who knows what. When you complete the quizzes as well, like I said, they're open book, they're open note. The only thing that you cannot do is you must do the quizzes entirely yourself. The quizzes should be your own work. You should not be getting help from a classmate. You should not be getting help from your brother-in-law or some other person. So that's something else that I did want to say that is pretty important. Let me just look over the syllabus and see if there's anything else. So, oh, and if anyone has an accommodation for taking tests where you get extended time or something like that, let me know that too. Just send me an email, and so I can give you an extension on the time limit if you have an accommodation for extended time, if there's anyone that applies to. So I think that's largely it. So starting Thursday at 5 o'clock, I will be in the classroom, and I will also be using the same Zoom link. When you come either to the classroom or to the Zoom meeting, just come with actual questions that you may have. I'm not going to have anything in particular planned. That's basically just going to be some time for you to interact with me and ask me questions. And so so that'll be what that is. So I guess part of what I'm saying is the sessions are not necessarily going to be mandatory. Just make sure that you're logging in regularly, completing your work, and meeting the deadlines. So we're going to stop things there.